Holy cow, what happened just over the night, huh? Apparently we got a bunch of snow. We didn't get as hit as hard apparently with people further north. So it could be a good opportunity to get some interesting shots. I still have that issue with the filters because sometimes with the snow, because it's brighter on the ground, it kind of messes everything up. I still need more practice with it. The clouds and the mountains look really cool though. Speaking of snow, I saw this one interesting piece of news. Essentially, there was someone with I guess a snow plow or something like that. They were clearing the area, and the guy was upset that a lot of people put their recycle bins too close, I guess, out to the road of the alleyway. So he just decides to run over all of them, and to make it worse, I guess he Snapchatted it according to this, and somebody I guess reposted it on Facebook, and it got a lot of attention. And afterwards, from what I gathered, the guy got fired. But still, that's kind of crazy, isn't it? If it's not bad enough to actually do that as the worker where you're supposed to be a professional, I don't know, just the fact that he taped it and then actually published it like on his own will just makes me wonder, like, was he just like, oh, forget it, like, I don't care if you get fired or whatever. Well, maybe I should have wore the boots and stuff instead, but I have to go to my martial arts and stuff later. Today is Valentine's Day too, where you expect the typical chocolates and flowers in terms of things like gifts or what to do. I was interested in reading this. It says you can visit Vancouver's first ever Valentine's Day haunted house. For the first time ever, Vancouver will be playing home to Canada's only Valentine's Day haunted house. St. Clementine's Torture House comes from the brilliant yet horrifying minds of the Dream Horror Live Haunted House. So I believe this, you have like live actors and stuff like that. Just makes me wonder who would actually bring their date over to this as a Valentine's Day kind of gift. I think it would be funny, but still, it's not the first thing that comes to mind. Is there a standoff?
Huski's taking a break.
Okay.
Enjoying the sun.
Yeah, so difficult to get the right snow shot. You think it's too bright, you point it down, then it looks perfect, and the sun changes. Oh my goodness. Yes, that's why, you know, there's usually, like when they film things for film, that's why there's so much lighting and all this stuff. You gotta make it right. And it seems like there was more news about the drone deliveries. It says drone delivery one step closer to reality after Ottawa issues certificate to Canadian company. Commercial drone delivery service is a step closer to coming to Canada after the federal government issued a compliant certificate to Drone Delivery Canada Corp last week. It seems like it's been the same company getting all these approvals as well. I believe it's the same one that was trying to deliver things in the native reserve land. And as it states here, it says the company said it received a compliant UAV operator special flights operation certificate last week, a Transport Canada designation that is required before any company can apply to fly beyond visual line of sight. This story actually made me think of two things. The first one was this comment here. The guy's joking, but it says, grab your pellet guns, there's cargo in them drones. It makes me wonder if that is actually a legitimate concern when people are doing drone deliveries. Because they have things like those signal jammers and stuff, which is meant more for like government and military use. But would people actually do that to steal parcel? Like jam the signal, take it, and run? Like how would they know? The other thing it made me think of was that point at the line of sight. Remember that R1 drone I talked about yesterday that I just discovered? Essentially the point of that is to fly that autonomously, like have it follow behind me. I don't even have to pay attention to it. But it says here in this article about it, it says even regulations may not be ready for the R1. Colin Snow, a drone industry analyst, pointed out to me that federal regulations require users to keep drones in their line of sight, and a drone that follows you is technically not in your line of sight. So technically that would be illegal to have the drone in a follow me mode, for example. To me, that just shows how outdated the proposed regulations are in many ways, or the ones that are currently in existence. It's too outdated, don't you agree? Would make me think if it was like driving a car, imagine they said you always have to have your eyes in the front and the back always, regardless. Like how's that even possible? I would imagine that again, like there you have common sense, look forward first when you need to turn and stuff, then you look back, you have a general idea of your surroundings. The drone is kind of the same thing when it's following you. In general, you can probably hear it. People will turn back once in a while to make sure they look, to make sure everything's clear. I don't know, again, it just seems so outdated. Alright, what to try today too. It's actually really cold for stuff like this. Such nice views too. Well, that's kind of cool. I can see the reflection on the water with this thermal. time the sun's very apparent. Too bad I missed that flock of crows at first. It sounded like there was like 50 of them. It was further back. I don't know what they were all like yelling about. Interesting how when it sees the bright light, I don't even notice, but like up top right now, you kind of see like this residual heat, if that's the way to say it. Could be it just messes up the lens and stuff when it's too bright.
Thank you for this is Acai protein. Yeah, what I say? Thank you.
Okay, so today I decided to try this Acai protein because the one yesterday with that berry tastes crazy, so I'm wondering if it's because of that. Nope, tastes kind of normal. Tastes like a regular smoothie. Didn't get blended properly. Like a big piece of strawberry. Ooh, the light died fast. See you guys later.